Hey you, welcome to the channel again. This is a time lapse of that animation you just saw. I did this sketch at work on like a little post-it note with a pen, and I thought it looked really nice. I posted it on my Instagram. Please follow my Instagram. Link in the description, of course. And yeah, I just wanted to bring this sketch to life. When I was doing the sketch, I realized that the sketch really leaves a lot to the imagination, because once I started inking it like this, I started realizing all the structural problems, and once you start committing to those decisions, you realize that there's a lot you have to think about, like the eye size, where the hair lies, the eyebrows, everything. At some point here, I realized that there's something looks off, so I flipped the canvas right there. And yeah, I noticed everything, like the chin and the neck. One tip is to always flip your canvas. Flipping your canvas gives you like a fresh perspective on your drawing, and it makes it so much easier to point out, or at least view or see your mistakes. It like tricks your brain into like seeing it new again. It's actually quite amazing. For these drawings, I always want to draw like a head looking forward, which I did in the first time lapse, or like a head and 3/4. So I'm really playing it safe here. I really just wanted to make a time lapse today for you to see, just so I guess I can practice a little more in the Blender Grease Pencil and Blender, because I love this program. I put it on a robe, put a robe on her, and I think it's kind of like safe clothes. Like, it's very easy to put on a collar and just make the sides. So I'm gonna definitely be studying up on how to do clothing better. For this hair, this bun, it was giving me so much trouble. I actually was looking at reference, and I was like tweaking it. It looked too square, it looked too boxy. Finally figured out that it should be more oval. And look at me put all those lines. I have no idea. It's literally trial and error for me. Learning how to draw has been a big challenge. But I've been drawing this particular type of head for like 3 months now. So this came a little faster for me, since I've probably drawn like 1,000 heads. That's the only difference between, somebody who hasn't drawn and what you're seeing here, is that I sat down and just drew head after head, like structural shapes, and like really drawing it like I would do the sphere, put the line through it. I would put all the parts, the lines, where the eye line would go. I started to really realize the patterns, like how your eyes kind of are at the same line as the top of your ears, and the bottom of your ears kind of goes up to your mouth, and the sides of your nose end up going to your eye ducts. So once you get all those proportions right, things start to look a lot better, and it honestly makes everything look better. Just having those right proportions. You can have your proportions right, and that's like, I would say 50% there. But I am no 2D artist, so please tell me what you think. I started off in grayscale, and I did that so I can just lay down some color. So I did like a white, a black, 75% gray, 25% gray, because with these materials in Blender, you can just change them later. As you saw, I changed the gray under skin to a brown color. And what I'm doing is I'm taking a palette from colorhunt.co, and I'm just getting a cool looking palette, and I'm just using it. I like to work off of a palette, because I like to start from somewhere where I know at least it looks good. I'm not just eyeballing everything. I think you should always use reference and use palettes that exist already, so you can like really learn what goes together. Obviously, when you do it long enough, you won't have to do that anymore. I am definitely not there yet, so I'm definitely using all of that. So far, I'm liking how it's turning out. I like the eyes, but for the eyes, I usually draw like Caucasian women, so I'm glad I'm switching it up here, doing brown skin. And I usually do like blue eyes, or something that really stands out, but this time I just use a nice like warm brown for the eyes, and I thought that turned out okay. This is me trying to figure out the highlights for the eye. I'm not quite happy with how it ended up. I feel like it's missing something, or the highlight's too bright or it's not in the right place. This is me just fixing very small details that really I shouldn't have spent too much time on. I should have just kept on going. This is me naming all my layers, and I would say name all those layers. It's very important. My last project was a mess. That last time lapse with the animation. I'm laying down some shadows here, and I am not good at shading. So this is me just trying to get out my comfort zone and trying to shade. Going to my safe spots. Like I know that right above the eyelid is dark, and below the lip, and underneath the neck. And I always get scared when I start doing the face. Nothing just looks right. Yeah, right underneath the hairline too. Very good. And then I'll start shading in the hair strands, and it's a lot easier. I can see the form in the hair. It's hard for me. I haven't, I guess, trained my eye to see the form on the face, so I always have trouble shading the face. The light's coming from the top right, so I know that basically things the bottom right are going to be shaded. So I got like behind the ear, and then I know on the back of the collar, and underneath the collar, the bun, of course. When I do the shading, I just pick the color that it is, like the blue, and then I just make it a little darker, but I also shift the hue. I think it's important to shift the hue towards, I would say cooler colors. So like, as you see underneath the collar, it's a little more purple, and the lips, I think it's a little bit more purple as well. And I just think that's a better way of doing the shadows. For the shadows underneath the eyes, I used, a darker color of white, but I ended up just using a transparency, like a color with alpha, or material, I should say, with alpha. And that ended up turning out, all right. All right, this is me trying to add in the highlights. I'm like trying to put it on the nose, the chin, everywhere I think it goes, the neck, and then I said, screw it, I'm just gonna shade the hair. It was a lot easier. I thought it turned out all right. I haphazardly just laid down that highlights. I liked it, so as you see, I didn't take it off, but I know it can definitely be improved. This is me trying to do some highlights on the eyebrows. I ended up not liking any of it, so my go-to is, when in doubt, I just don't put it on there. When really I should really be pushing it, but I have a little bit limited time today to make this time lapse. All right, this is me trying to put in those the eye shade, the shading in the eye for the iris, and once again ended up not liking any of it, so I took it off. And this is me trying to play around with the animation. I'm like, oh, maybe I can like make her blink or make her move her eye. I was, like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, so I ended up leaving this all together, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna make an animation in the background. I also had a lot of trouble figuring out where the onion skinning was, and the onion skinning ends up being on the material, and it's like the little icons there on, not the material, the layers, and there's like 3 icons on the right side that control onion skinning and the clipping mask and the visibility and locking the layer. So that's how you turn on the onion skinning individually per layer. So here I was trying to do the animation, and I kept like getting so frustrated. I'm like, why isn't this onion skinning working? I'm looking at the display. Right here I'm just doing it like I'm eyeballing it. I used an array. I thought that would look cool. I don't think it ended up looking cool. So I took off the array. Let me see, doing it again there. Boom. Making another one. Yeah, this is me looking for the onion skinning. I'm like, where is this? Everything's on. And I was actually getting pretty frustrated, but I definitely didn't want to give up on it. And I think I eventually end up figuring it out. That pause there was me Googling it. All right, there we go. The onion skinning's on, and it made it a lot easier to make the animation for that. And yeah, so this is real basic stuff. I just wanted to at least dip my toes in the 2D animation here. I just wanted to have a little taste, so when I get back into it again, I take a further step into the pool, and a further step, and a further step. You got to do everything a little bit at a time. You can't overwhelm yourself, or at least for me. I don't like overwhelming myself because it's easy to give up. Of course, put that standard gradient on there. just playing around with different colors. I ended up using the colors of the clothes, and there it is. Alright, I'm Grease Monkey. If you like the video, like it, subscribe, do whatever you want really. Look forward for some future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.